Hi guys, today I'm going to talk about a book written by Haig, The Midnight Library. So this is the story of Nora, a young lady that thought that her life was meaningless. So she felt alone, unloved, unnecessary, and one day she decided to die. So she ate a lot of pills, and then she found herself between life and death. And she was in a location, a library, with a person she knew when she was a kid, Ms Elm, a librarian. Why library? Because when she was young, that was her safe place that she went to read books and forget about her trouble. So this library, where she found herself between life and death, was infinite, with an infinite number of books, and each book was a portal to another life that she could experience. So she saw that there are so many possibilities in life, and she was offered the opportunity to experience some of the lives that she wanted to try. So the first book she had to go through was the book of regrets. And in this book there was a list of all the regrets she had in her life. Some very big regrets, some smaller regrets. And she went through this book first to identify which part she thought that needed to be changed in order to live a good life. So she had regrets like not becoming a swimming champion, winning the Olympics, not going with her friends in Australia for adventure, giving up on being a singer in a rock band, giving up in becoming a scientist, giving up in becoming a professor. So many things that she gave up, and she thought that was one of the reasons why she was unhappy. So the biggest regret, she thought, was breaking up with her fiancé. She was going to marry with him, and she broke up. So she opened the book in order to experience this life with her fiancé, and she found out that that was not what she wanted. And every time she experienced a regret, the regret was deleted from the book of regrets. And she found out that after undoing all her regrets, she still didn't find the reason why she was unhappy. But she started to understand that the regrets that she had was someone else's dream. So the dream to go to Australia was the dream of her friend. The dream to become a swimming Olympic champion was the dream of her father. The dream of opening a pub was the dream of her fiancé. And she understood that the regrets were not linked to herself directly, but most of the regrets were coming from someone else's dream. So she understood that the purpose of life was not about achieving someone else's dream or even achieving your dream. But to look for a meaning of life was not the most important in life. And she understood that you can control your choice, but you cannot control the outcome of your choice, because those outcomes are not only linked to you, but also linked with other people. So in some lives, she found out that one choice made her father disappear. He was dead. Another life with another choice, her mom was dead. Another life, her brother was dead. So different kind of choice, different kind of path, different kind of outcome, and the outcome is not under our control. The choice is, but the outcome isn't. So I guess a lot of us, we might sometimes think about how the life would have been if I made this choice, or if I didn't do that, or if I studied this and that. This normal is natural, but at the end of the day, we only have one life, and we have to cherish this life. So with this infinite number of books, she experienced hundreds of lives. That means that every book was a portal to another life, a different path. It's like just kind of a tree with different branches going in different direction. He's also taking the chess game as an example, with infinite numbers of possibilities. So life has a realm of possibilities, and it's scary, but at the same time it's very inspiring. From this journey, she also discovered that happiness is not about being happy all the time. That in order to be happy, you also had to be sad. This sadness is part of happiness, and that's the balance between happy and sad. If you want to be happy like a happy junk, you won't be happy, because it will become the new normal. So sadness was part of life. And she also discovered that to be alone was not that depressing. It's a matter of perspective. So she was alone as a scientist, in a scientist's life in the North Pole, where she had an expedition, and she took this time to reconnect with nature and also to reconnect with herself. So a different perspective about what it means to be alone. So what was missing in her life was not being alone or a lot of regrets, and what was missing in her life was potential. And through this experience, she understood that she had so many potentials, and once there is potential, there is hope, and when there is hope, there is this wheel of life. And through this experience, she discovered that she was willing to live. She didn't want to die, and she had to face death and make a decision. If she really wanted to be alive, she had to fight for it. And she understood at that time that life is a gift, and a lot of people are dead, and they wish they had more time in life. But once you're dead, that's done. So she wanted to catch back her life and cherish the life that she had, because this gift can disappear anytime. A lot of dead people, they will give everything they had just to live one more day or one more week, and she had the gift, so she had to catch this gift. So each time she entered a new life, she was not entering the emotion of that life. She entered a life where she had kids and she was married, but she didn't have this emotion of love. So it was like a bit fake, because it was her, but the life, the emotion, she was not connected to it. So at the end, she understood that the only life that she could be connected to was her root life, the life that she had previously. So she decided to come back to this life. So even if it was a messy life, the same poor place, poor apartment, she wanted to go back there and restart her life and be able to realize her potential. Once she came back to her initial life, one day later she had some messages from her friend, her brother, her family, showing her love to her, and she understood that at that time, if I waited a little bit more, I would not commit suicide. So sometimes in life you need to wait a little bit more to see that the outcome is not as bad as you thought about. And life will give you a whole new perspective just by waiting a little bit more. So the message from the book is life is about perspective. The way you see your life will give you a different approach about how to deal with your life. So you can have a pessimistic view or an optimistic view. The perspective is the most important, not the life itself with the regrets and everything. So it gives you a different approach about how to deal with your own life. Some key quotes. The only way to learn is to live. Maybe it was not the lack of achievements that made her unhappy. Maybe it was the expectation to achieve in the first place. Sadness is intrinsically part of the fabric of happiness. All lives contain degrees of good and degrees of bad. Everything we experience is ultimately just our perception of it. It's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. The prison is not the place, but the perspective is. I will give this book the grade of B+. Thank you guys, and I'll see you on my next video.